Hey there gamers, it's the Immortal Adrian here. You can call me Adrian. I'm going to start a series of tutorial videos covering Ark Survival Evolved on the island from the very beginning for beginners. So starting at this point here, you've bought the game, downloaded it, installed it and hit the go button, and you end up at this screen here. So let's just quickly run over what we're looking at here. On the right hand side, this is just a little news panel. They give you some of the latest details. Down here tell us what kind of conversions we're using. The only options we've got here are primitive plus official. I've tried to get that going, but I've spent like 30 minutes waiting for it to load. It never loads, so I just run with none. So this is a vanilla game. On the left hand side, we've got this is basically just an advertisement. They're trying to sell you the latest DLC, which is Genesis. Play now, which is indicating you go and buy that. And then we got some options down here, which is what we're going to look at now. The first one, join Ark. This allows you to join a server. If I click that, we'll see if I take this to official servers, and this set for the island, we've got a whole list of official servers that we can join. Now, if you wanted to play the official game, I suggest you start with PvE, player versus environment, because player versus player is quite difficult. They'll jump on top of you and kill you before you get a chance to do anything. There's not much fun in that, so you want to learn how to play the game first. Play at PvE and just play at home by yourself for a while until you get used to it. And this gives us the option to sort either by the name, if you happen to know the name of the server, or by the number of players. The ones with the most players are at the top if you want to go to a server that's got a lot of players. One of the other options that we have here is the ping, which is probably the most important. You want to join a server that's got a low ping, which is a fast turnaround. If the ping is too high, about 230, you get a lot of lag and it won't be an enjoyable experience at all. So that's why you might want to sort it by ping. And the other option you have is sort by day. These official ones have been going for a while, so it's already 22,000 days and going on. So the other options we've got down here are official legacy servers and unofficial. Now this is other people that are hosting the game. So you might not want to play on an official server for some reason, because some of the unofficials allow you to run all kinds of interesting mods, and they have it set up in a different way, and you're not stuck with just playing the vanilla game. So you might want to pick unofficial. And non-dedicated sessions, now what that is, the ones we just looked at were dedicated. That means someone has rented a server and they've installed Ark on it and they've opened it up for people to play. A non-dedicated is where you load the game on your own computer and run a non-dedicated session, which means that other people can actually log in to your computer and play the game with you on your computer. You might have a friend that might want to log in and play it with you. Of course, the limitation is there. You have to be running the game on your computer before they can log in, and you're also limited to how many people can log in and a few other limitations. But it's a fun little way to go about things. The next options we have My Survivors. If you've got more than one character on the play, then you can choose from there. The favourites, once you've found something that you like I'm in Australia here, so this is an Australian-New Zealand server. They can have up to 50 players there. There's only one online at the moment, but they can have up to 20 or 30. I've seen up to 30 players playing at once, like on a Friday night and that kind of thing. And of course, friends, if you've got friends running a server, you can find their servers there. And finally, the LAN option, if you're running a LAN and you want to run the game in your household network and other people with other computers connected to the same router LAN network can come and join your game from there. This option here, join last played, that will connect you to the last, whatever the session was that you last played. And of course, so if I go here and I click my favorite and then I highlight that, I can now join this. I can remove it from favorites. Refresh just means if you're waiting for a server to load, then you might refresh that a couple of times until your server loads. So let's go back to this screen here. Now the next one is, if we click that, instead of joining a game, we can host our own game. If you were to hire a server and you wanted to host that, this is where you do it from. You run a dedicated server, you click that and set up the game from your server, and then give people the IP address and they can come in and play your server. And it will show up in the unofficial servers list that we just looked at. So play single player, if you click that, and you will just play one of these maps, either the story arcs or the custom arcs. Now the story arc, the island, is the one that you get when you first buy the game. These other ones, Genesis, Scorched Earth, Aberration and Extinction, you have to buy those as a separate pack. But these custom arcs, the Centaur, Ragnarok, Volguero, and, well, those three are actually part of your existing game. They're downloadable content that you don't pay for. So you can actually have 3 other maps that you can play and expand your game, something really interesting. And some of these other things in here are other maps and mods that other people have written and produced and made available for free, which is really cool. So over the right here, this is mod settings. I've got a heap of mods that I've downloaded for different servers that I like to play on. But for this particular setup, we've got no mods. We're running a vanilla game so that you can see how the game will play for you. Now over here on the left hand side, we've got the general options. You can change the difficulty and all of the different difficulties in here, the different amounts of damage you can cause, the damage you'll take, and the different notifications, and quite a lot of information here. And we're going to leave this pretty much as standard, except for just a few small changes. Now, to make the game more playable, and in particular to make it so that I can go through these tutorials and you can see things happening without waiting for 1,000 hours for me to play through the game, I'm going to turn them up. I'm going to turn the experience multiplier up from 1 to 3. I'm going to turn the taming speed up from 1 to 3, and I'm going to turn the harvest amount up from 1 to 3. And that's about all I'm going to do. I could change the stamina drain, food drain and water drain and health recovery to make the game easier, but that's not what I want to do now. I just want to make the game flow. So I've got those 3, XP, taming speed and the harvest amount, turned up by 3. Now the next option is advanced. There's quite a lot of advanced options in here. What I will do, the only thing I'll change here is the day-night cycle. The day speed of 1 is okay. Now this gives us about a 20-minute day and a 10-minute night. The daytime speed is, lowering this value increases the length of each day. So I'll leave that at 1, but the nighttime speed, lowering this value increases the length of each night. Now I'm going to increase it, which is going to make the length of the night much faster. That's all. Nighttime speed, instead of the nights lasting 10 minutes, they're only going to last 5 minutes. This will make it easier to play the game, because without certain cheats, there's not a lot you can do at night until your game gets to a point where you've got a lot of lights and things like that happening, torches. So that's the only thing I'm going to change there. There might be one other thing that we'll have to find, and that's actually the map, and I don't think it's on this page. I have to try and remember where it is now. Okay, it's not here. Okay, we'll go back to the general and we'll see if it shows up down here. And yes, here it is. Show map player location. It's almost to the bottom of this. Show map player location is very important so that you can see where you are on the map. So that's what we're going to do. And we're going to start playing the single player mode. And so I'll click that and I'll end this video here, and I'll see you in part 2 of Ark Survival Evolved. Okay, we'll see you there.